there's been growing concern for the disparity between music in the private and state sectors, with statistics such as only 12% of state schools having an orchestra compared to 85% of private schools. In turn, musical conservatoires in the UK currently have less state pupils than Oxbridge. It's clear private schools greatly encourage a musical education.
I think we're very, very fortunate in terms of how it's looking more in the national picture, that we haven't suffered a loss in numbers. You're right, in the wider offering, it is very worrying. Since I became Director of Music in 2010, there's been a 40% decrease in A-level music numbers, which is obviously very, very significant, and I'm aware of it. It hasn't affected us that much. I think the children here, they're very lucky. But I think music, I always say it's the greatest extension exercise there is. People talk about academic extension, and I think learning a musical instrument it's got to be one of the greatest academic extension exercises. Independent learning, having to have a sense of progression, making yourself move through instructions, and it's quite a cerebral exercise, isn't it? It connects pathways. It's been proven by research to be incredibly enriching for intellectual thinking and generally creative thinking. And I think it may be music is perceived by the current government, as not being an academic subject, which is absolutely mad, really, because what's more academic than being able to create, to perform, and have to write, and you have to be able to analyse, and you have to be able to assimilate a huge number of different styles. It's incredibly academic.
Despite the previous government's lack of regard for the subject, with one Education Minister, Sir Gavin Williamson, stating it not a strategic priority, why is it that schools in the private sector continue to see it as a subject of utmost importance, like here in York at St Peter's School?
So we use the World Economic Forum every 2 years produces a future jobs report, and in that they talk about top trending jobs, but they also publish the top trending skills, and that's what they say are the absolute fundamentals, and that's where you get adaptability, flexibility, resilience, the ability to work in teams, leadership, social interaction, emotional intelligence, and so forth. It takes a nanosecond to look at music and think, well, hang on a second, the consistency you had to have, the application into your practices, for example. In many ways, music actually develops a much higher level of team and responsibility and the need for performance, and then therefore inside of that, self-control and mastery and flow and all those sorts of things, than an awful lot of other areas. Humans are born to respond to music and to love music. It's the most basic thing in the entire world. So then you've got that sense of it's responding to a deep-seated human need that people have. And I always think that music is one of the highest expressions of what it is to be fully human. When you throw into it, on top of that, all of the cultural value of it, but also the human development value of it, and mindfulness and well-being and positive mental well-being, all those sort of aspects there, then it's really not difficult to see why music is absolutely central to an education. Stick an instrument into the hand of a child, and you can track improvements in their academic performance, their concentration, their focus, their mental health, their mental well-being and state of mind. And I think you'd have to have really, really good reasons why you would want to take music away from children.
All right, we'll pause that.